The desert, a dry land. More than 1 billion people live in the desert, and deserts cover roughly 1/5 of the Earth's surface. Winds in the desert may be seasonal, sporadic, or daily. They range from gentle breezes to violent gusts at speeds greater than 300 kilometers per hour. The temperature in a desert varies widely since there are so few particles of water in the air to block heat from entering or leaving the air and earth.
Precipitation in hot and dry deserts usually comes in short bursts of rains between long dry periods. These deserts are usually located in subtropical latitudes where Hadley cells occur. Hadley cells cause hot air to dump rain on the equator and cool as it moves out towards the poles. Drier air means less clouds, which means less precipitation over subtropical deserts. Rainfall usually occurs in the hot summer. Many animals in the hot and dry desert have adapted to burrow underground and release heat through their ears to stay cool, such as the jerboa and the fennec fox. Most animals in these deserts are nocturnal, only active at night, in order to avoid the heat of the day.
Plants that live in the hot and dry desert have adapted to the low water and high heat conditions, such as the cactus, which has a lot of waxy skin and spines instead of leaves to conserve water.
Precipitation in semi-arid deserts is relatively plentiful, ranging from 2 centimeters to 4 centimeters annually. Temperatures do not exceed 38 degrees Celsius during daytime, and night temperatures averages around 10 degrees Celsius. Summers are moderately long and dry, and like hot deserts, the winters normally bring low concentrations of rainfall.
Deserts are home to kangaroo rats, rabbits, snakes, and birds such as the California thrasher. Like in the hot and dry deserts, most animals are nocturnal in order to avoid the sweltering heat of the daytime. Plants like brittle bushes, burr sage, and white thorn store as much water and nutrients as possible since their evaporation process occurs at night and thus much less rapidly than it would during the day. Soil in semi-arid deserts tends to be sandy and have a fine texture, contain gravel, and have a fairly low salt concentration. Some semi-arid deserts are the sagebrush of Utah, Montana, and the Great Basin, as well as the Nearctic realm, which includes North America, Newfoundland, Greenland, Russia, Europe, and Northern Asia.
Annual rainfall in coastal deserts is between 8 and 13 centimeters. This precipitation usually occurs in the winters, which are significantly cooler than the summers. Most rain moving towards coastal desert precipitates into the ocean before the clouds reach land, which is why the land is very dry even though it is right next to an ocean. Animals adapt to the heat and dryness of coastal deserts similarly to those of arid and semi-arid deserts, but since the soil in coastal deserts is very porous, most plants take advantage by adopting large root systems and thicket fleshy leaf stems or leaves to absorb and store nutrients and water over a large period of time. They can also adapt to have thorns or spines instead of leaves to conserve water. Precipitation averages out to 15 to 26 centimeters a year. Some cold deserts are near the Arctic part of the world at higher latitudes than subtropical deserts, but others, like the Asian Gobi, are located more centrally because of their proximity to mountain ranges. Air rises over a mountain, cools and loses its moisture, then descends on the other side as dry desert air. In winter, temperatures in cold deserts range from 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, and in the summer it ranges from 21 to 26 degrees Celsius. The slightly warmer summers of the cold desert prevent its classification as a polar region. Animals that live in the cold desert include antelopes, ground squirrels, jackrabbits, and kangaroo rats. Animals that make their home in the cold desert adapt to the harsh conditions with thick fur, an inability to sweat, and their warm blood, all of which help them retain heat. Plants that live in the cold desert include the seagoat lily, the rabbit brush, and the sagebrush. Most plants in cold deserts are deciduous, meaning that they annually lose their leaves, low shrubs that are adapted to the salty soil of cold desert. Few plants can survive in this environment, and those that do are namely bryophytes, such as mosses. Watch a desert movie. Lawrence of Arabia was shot in Jordan, Morocco, and Spain. Holes was filmed during 100-degree heat in the Mojave Desert in California. Mad Max Fury Road was set in post-apocalyptic Australia, but filmed in Namibia. Which desert will you visit?
Created using Powtoon.